Hey, what's up my people, IceRestrict12 here, and today I'm bringing you a brand new video on Eldlich the Golden Lord and the Golden Land archetype. Now with El Dorado right around the corner and Eldlich receiving amazing new art, I feel a lot of players are going to be drawn to this great trap heavy archetype, and especially since traps are actually really good in this competitive environment, I feel that's going to help make people want to play Eldlich. Now if you are a brand new Eldlich player, I'm going to give you an overview of what this archetype is all about, but if you're an expert Eldlich player, I'm going to be presenting also some builds that you might be interested in. Now with that being said, I do want to specify these builds are in a very specific order, with the easiest one to pilot at first, making our way all the way up to the most difficult one to pilot. So if you are brand new to this archetype, you probably want to stick to the first couple decks, but if you're an expert Eldlich player, you can play any of these. Now with that out of the way guys, follow me to the Golden Land and let's go ahead and explore Eldlich. Very well guys, let's go ahead and get started. So the Eldlich archetype focuses on turboing out Eldlich the Golden Lord onto the field as fast as possible to then use a series of trap cards that activate effects as long as Eldlich the Golden Lord is face up on the field. Now the cards that you will be using to bring this Golden Lord onto the field are cards such as the Elixir of Black Awakening, which allows you to summon Eldlich from hand or deck. Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, which is by many considered the best Elixir card, will allow you to bring Eldlich the Golden Lord from the graveyard or from the deck, which is where he's going to be most of the time. And the Elixir of White Destiny allows you to bring Eldlich onto the field from the graveyard or from your hand. The workhorses of this strategy will be your monster traps, and those come in the form of Conquistador of the Golden Land, which will allow you to non-target destroy a face-up card on the field. Huaquero of the Golden Land will allow you to non-target banish a card in either player's graveyard, and the Guardian of the Golden Land will allow you to non-target reduce the attack points of a monster on the field to 0. Now all of these Golden Land cards have the stipulation that Eldlich the Golden Lord has to be face up on the field to be able to activate these effects. Now, one of the things about the Eldlich strategy is that it's built for the long run. It's a very grindy strategy, and the reason why is because these Golden Land cards and these Elixir cards that you see on your screen, they all have the secondary effect that they can be banished from your graveyard to set another card from your deck onto your spell or trap zone face down. So the Elixirs will get you the Golden Lands, and the Golden Lands will get you the Elixirs. Just keep in mind that the Golden Lands do have the stipulation that it has to be during the end phase. Now the Searcher of the deck comes in the form of Curse Eldlich. This amazing continuous spell card allows you to pay 800 life points to search an Eldlich the Golden Lord or a Golden Land spell or trap. Now it also has the secondary effect that if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, it allows you to send a Golden Land card from your deck to the graveyard. And remember, the Golden Lands, if you banish them, will allow you to set an Elixir card straight from your deck onto the field. The way that you're going to keep your opponent in check while you grind them out and go for the long game will be through Golden Land Forever. This Omni-Negate allows you to negate any spell, trap, or monster effect as long as you control Eldlich the Golden Lord, and it only requires you to tribute a zombie monster to negate that card. So it can be either Eldlich himself, or it can be any of the Golden Land monsters that you may already have face up on the field. Now just keep in mind, Golden Land Forever does not get you an Elixir card when he goes to the graveyard. And the last three cards I want to talk about guys, the first one is 7 Cities of the Golden Land. Now this amazing spell card will allow you to special summon Eldlich plus a level 5 or higher zombie monster, which remember it's all of your Golden Land monster traps, to special summon Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord, which is just a more beefed up version of Eldlich, which will allow you to take control of one of your opponent's monsters. Now the last card I want to talk about guys is the El Dorado Adelantado. Now this is an amazing late game card as it will allow you to shuffle 3 elixirs from your banish zone into the deck to blow up the whole field, or you can also put 3 Golden Land cards from your banish into the deck to burn your opponent and then gain life points equals to whatever your opponent has left. Very well guys, and the first build I want to talk about is Eldlich Traps. Now I feel like this is the best build for starting players, as you're only going to be using Eldlich as kind of that presence on the field, because he is a pretty big monster that when you bring him onto the field through his effect gets even bigger and cannot be destroyed by card effect. Now, most of the work is going to be done in the form of traps. You're going to be playing some high impact traps such as Ice Dragon's Prisons or Torrential Tributes that are going to stop your opponent from going off with his or her combos. Now, the other thing you're going to be playing a lot of is Floodgates. This build can play cards such as Imperial Order or Skill Drain, Goes and Match, or Rivalry of the Warlords very well, because all you're doing is controlling the tempo of the game until you can swing for game. And the next build I want to talk about, guys, is Eldlich Zombie World. I truly do believe that this is the way Eldlich was meant to be played, as Zombie World allows Eldlich to just really become that oppressive deck in many different aspects. So while Eldlich is going to keep you in the game and allow you to go for the grind game, Zombie World is going to restrict what your opponent can do in the form of the Zombie World Rivalry of the Warlords lock, which once your opponent puts a monster on the field, while you control Zombie World, you flip the Rivalry of Warlords, and unless you're playing a mirror match where your opponent has zombies, now they cannot summon anything because they already control a zombie, and Rivalry of Warlords only allows them to control one type of monster. Now, the Elixir cards complement this strategy very well, because as long as Eldlich is on the field, they're going to allow you to summon any zombie from the deck onto the field. I do feel like this is the one strategy in which you can make the best use out of cards like Seven Cities of the Golden Land and Eldlich the Mad Golden Lord, because you can also bring it out with Super Polymerization. So this build right here, it's just so smooth. They complement each other very well, and I do feel like this is the way Eldlich was meant to be played. And the next deck, guys, now we're entering into the territory where I would advise for you to be a seasoned Eldlich player before you pick up any of these strategies. Now, this one, you can still do it as a novice, but you're going to do much better if you play Eldlich before. And this one will be Zodiac Eldlich. Now, what this is going to do for you is implementing the Zodiac engine is going to allow you to turbo out a card such as Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, which can blow up the whole field and send everything onto the graveyard. Now, your Eldlich cards don't mind being in the graveyard because they are going to be able to replace themselves. Elixirs will get you the Golden Lands, and the Golden Lands will get you the Elixirs, not to mention that Eldlich the Golden Lord himself can recur himself from the graveyard to the hand and to the field, as long as you tribute a spell or trap card that you have set on your side of the field. So this strategy here, the only reason why it will be a little bit tricky at times is because some of your Elixir cards will lock you into zombie monsters, so you won't be able to make that Arsenal AA Zeus. But if you're able to navigate through those waters, you will have an amazing, powerful monster that can wipe the whole board, and then Eldlich sitting in the background ready to beat your opponent the following turn. And the semi-last strategy I want to talk about, guys, is the Life Twin strategy. Now, this strategy right here ups the difficulty level a little bit because the Elixir cards will lock you into zombie monsters, but the Life Twin cards will lock you either into Fiend type monsters or into Evil Twin Link monsters. So with that being said, this strategy is actually really good at the, when you're going into game 2 and 3. The reason why is because it focuses on burning your opponent's life points and allowing you to gain life points as well every time that your opponent declares an attack. Now, some of these cards also destroy monsters on the field, which will help you continue that control play style. Just keep in mind that some of these cards will lock the other half of your deck depending on how you use them. If you enjoy using powerful link monsters, this is also a great strategy for link climbing, as it's going to allow you to bring out some very powerful fiend type link monsters, such as the ones from the Unchained archetype that are going to keep your opponent at bay for the duration of the match. And finally, the last strategy I want to talk about is Eldlich Orchest. Now, this one ups the difficulty a little bit more because while Life Twin locks you into Fiend or Evil Twin monsters towards the end of the game state, when you're almost, towards the end going into your boss monsters, the Orchest Eldlich strategy will lock you into one type right away. So for instance, if you play the Elixir cards just like I mentioned with the other decks, you will be locked into zombie monsters. But if you play the Searcher of the Orchest strategy, which will be Orchest Crescendo, immediately right there and then you're already locked into Dark Machine monsters. And the way you want to navigate these waters is you want to go ahead and play Eldlich during your opponent's turn. That's why we only play Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, and then just play Orchest during your turn, which does sound a little bit counterintuitive, as Orchest is a strategy that you usually play during both your turn and your opponent's turn through the Fuel spell card, but you won't be doing that in here. The other cool thing about this strategy is that it will allow you to play one of the best floodgates in the game in the order of way of Imperial Order, because this deck does not really rely on spell cards other than as starters. So you will play some pots, you will play the Cursed Outland, but that is just to get you the cards that you need at the very beginning and start going off with your plays. You're also going to play cards such as Foolish Burial Goods to throw that crescendo in the graveyard, banish it, and get your Girsu. But again, you do those at the beginning when you're setting up your game state. Once you go past turn 1, you are going to be able to flip that Imperial Order, as you will not be relying on spell cards for the duration of the game. Alright guys, and with that being said, that is my guide to Eldlich. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, short and sweet, because there's so much more we could talk about, guys, but I just wanted to give you a general overview. Thank you again for watching my videos. I really appreciate you taking the time to learn about Eldlich, and let me know in the comment section which version you already play or which version you think you're going to start playing. If you have questions, let me know. I will do my best to try to answer them to the best of my ability, guys. And again, thank you very much. If you like my content, subscribe, like, and I'll be catching you in the next one.